So we continue with the CBT stuff, but the topic today is about anger. So again, how we do it, we try to change the thoughts and feelings and behavior from negative or irrational to rational. When we talk about anger, the same we did with every problem, we try to identify the triggers of the feelings first. Like you can start different ways in CBT, but easiest way is identify first situations that cause you the negative feeling. So for the anger, the first exercise that we're going to do is identify the triggers. Okay, and to help with this question, you need to answer these questions. So you may need to answer, the last time I got enraged was, and you put what was the situation. The last time I got annoyed was, you put the situation. The person or people that most likely make me angry or mad are, and one issue that trigger me is usually or one issue that I feel strongly about, you tell us what. And then once you answer this question, then you answer this question and this, you will be able to identify the triggers. So tell me 5 or at least 3 triggers for anger. Okay, so the first question, identify the triggers. Second question is identify the feelings of the trigger. Sorry, the feeling of the anger. So some people will say, oh, when I'm angry, I feel mad. Some people say I feel irritated, frustrated, annoyed, enraged. So you tell me what usually is the feeling of anger when you experience anger. Okay, and I wanted you to know that anger is a normal human emotion. The problem with anger when it is irrational, like you are angry for something, is very distorted. Like you have irrational thoughts, then you get angry. This is a problem. And another problem with anger is how you're gonna respond to anger. But to get angry when there is a negative situation or something bad happened, and so the rational anger is fine, but the issue will how you're gonna express it. Okay, healthy or unhealthy. Some people have misconception about anger, that anger is always bad, or anger is always a sign lead to violence, or even anger is the only emotion we know. Some people, this is the only thing they know about feeling is just get angry or not to get angry. Anyway, you tell me what are the feeling you have about anger. So we talked about the triggers. You tell me a few triggers. Tell me how we feel angry. You can say, oh, my feeling of angry is just anger. That's it. Some of you are annoyed, frustrated, mad, whatever you want to describe it. Another activity is to identify the unhealthy coping skills. Like, how do you cope with the anger? And if you cope with it in an unhealthy way, tell us how you do it. For example, some people, there's 2 types of people. Some people internalize the anger, and some people will lash out the anger. Internalize means you repress it. And, from our talks, repressing your feeling is not a healthy defense mechanism. Because the more you repress the feeling, at some point you're going to lash out, or at some point you will have mental illness, or at some point it's going to come as physical symptoms or physical problem. Some people know they don't internalize it, they lash it out and they express it externally, but in a negative way. Negative way includes yelling, destruction of property, verbal abuse, physical abuse, and stuff like that. So for this exercise, you're going to tell me what is your autopilot or unhealthy coping skills and the consequences of them. So for example, someone got angry, so he yelled at his girlfriend. Okay, then the consequences was that she broke up with him. Or someone kicked a hole in the wall. I hear it all the time. So you caused damage. So the consequences, you had to pay to repair the damage. So you tell me if you have some unhealthy coping skills, and tell me what What were the consequences? So we had 3 questions now. Identify the triggers of anger. Identify the feeling of anger. How do you cope with anger when it happens? If you cope with it in an unhealthy way. Then another exercise is try to develop alternative healthy coping skills. So for example, for people who tend to internalize the anger or repress the anger, we can advise them to journal or to write a letter or an email to the people you are angry at or something, or you vent to a friend, or you vent in a group therapy. For people who act out, you can use something to distract you or to express the anger in more acceptable way. So people will hit a punching bag, or some people will yell at a pillow. Or I told you in DBT, you can scream in a pillow, or you can scream in your car. That's fine. Of course, we wanna try to process our feeling in a more healthier way, but temporary or a distraction way. Or for people who have tendency to be very angry, it is fine to exercise, do push-up, to do pull-up, to yell in a pillow, punch a bag, something like that. But don't punch your partner. So tell me some healthy coping skills that you can use. You don't have to choose from here. If you know something good, put it here. The last exercise is a challenge. I told you it's fine. Anger is sometimes irrational emotional response, sometimes it's completely irrational. Okay. The problem, if you get angry at every situation, you're gonna burn out, you're gonna die like earlier, like lifespan will be shorter. So we all need to be angry at certain situation and try to find a healthy way to express it and fix problems that we need to be fixed. But if you have distorted thinking that causing you to be angry, this is something we need to fix with CBT. For example, common distortions are should statement or personalization or rationalization. You know, these are talked about these in CBT. Should statement, which like for example, this one, he should do what I ask him, okay, or she shouldn't do that, or it isn't right. So people who use should all the time, this could be distorted. Yeah, you might notice something and people should do something about it, but if you do it all the time, there is a problem. Okay, or there are some people who personalize a comment or a situation or something, like something bad happens in your person or something, say a comment is not about you, but somehow you feel it is about you. So the first automatic thought that come to mind, how dare they disrespect me? How dare they disrespect me? So you personalize a comment, but they didn't disrespect you, or they don't mean to talk about you, even like any of the comment wasn't about you. Rationalization, rationalization is a cognitive distortion, means like false excuses for the unhealthy behavior that you did. So you say, yeah, it is okay to yell or scream or hit because he deserves it. We call this rationalization. It's common in addiction. Oh, I drank because he made me angry, or I drank because my wife yells at me, something like that. So you find excuses, but it's not true or represent the truth. Anyway, how we're gonna do the exercise? If you can identify some distorted way of thinking and try to replace it with rational thoughts, that's fine. It's a difficult exercise. It needs lots of time to think about it, but if you can do it, it would be good. I'll give you here 2 examples from the CBT book. For example, this is someone in during a flight, like an airplane. So, an airplane, you need to, at a certain point, you need to turn off your cell phone. So this guy, the one sit beside him, he didn't turn off his cell phone. So the first thought come in mind, oh, he should turn off his cell phone during the flight, like everyone else. So you see, show the statement here, gonna make you angry. So a response, a rational response would be, I wish he would turn off his cell phone. I can't make him do it, but I don't have to worry that much because the plane isn't going to crash because of it. This is a rational response. This is another situation. This girl, her friend, she lied to her about going to a movie. Anyway, she told her she went to a movie without telling her. So the distorted thought that come to her is, she shouldn't have lied to me. They really did go to that movie without me. Okay, so she got angry because her friend lied to her. But she tried to replace it with more rational thought. She said, yes, she did. She lied to me last month as well. I heard her lying to her mother. So she lies all the time. This is her part of her personality. It is not reasonable to me to expect her to be honest. But I know not to become too close to a friend with her because I can't trust her. I can see the movie later on with people that I trust. So we try to replace the irrational or the distorted with rational. Anyway, we have 5 exercises. For the sake of time, choose 3 to answer. Choose 3 of them. So I'll go through these exercises again. We're talking about anger. So you try to identify the triggers of anger. This is one question. Okay, what are the triggers? If people, situation, certain issues, triggers of anger. Tell me what are the feeling. If you have feeling, certain feeling, you feel annoyed, you feel enraged, you feel irritated, like what are the feeling of anger that you have? Especially also if it comes as a physically, like few people get angry and then they get headache. They get angry and then they have a stomach upset, or like sometimes it comes also as a physical feeling. So if you have it, let me know. Try to identify any unhealthy coping skills. Some people will, yell. Some people destroy property when they are angry. Some people will repress their feeling and then they get headache or get blurry vision or high blood pressure because of the internalization. So tell me, what is your unhealthy coping skills? This is another question. Another question is, tell me alternative healthy coping skills. So next time you get angry, what you gonna do? Are you gonna write a letter? Are you gonna do some pull-ups or push-ups? Or are you gonna journal also? Or are you gonna vent to a friend? Or express it in a group therapy? Or tell your counselor about it? Like, tell me what you're gonna do. A last question is how to replace, if you can identify some distorted thoughts, personalization, black and white, any distorted thoughts that make you angry. So try to replace it with more rational thoughts. To be honest, any cognitive distortion, you remember black and white, personalization, discounting the positive, all these show the statement, all these kind of the cognitive distortion can cause irrational anger, irrational feeling. So try to identify distorted and replace it with more rational thoughts. So 5 exercise, choose 3 to answer. I'll give you 5 minutes to think about it. Then Brooklyn will run the discussion. Thank you.
All right.